Hello, welcome. This is going to be a reading for Valentine's Day. And this is also going to be a collective reading. So we're recording a reading for Zal on Discord, and we're going to put it on YouTube. And so that you can, if you'd like, you can resonate with this reading. This is really a collective reading, and it's just through the story that will be Zal's. Zal is being generous enough to let us read the energy. The microphone all of a sudden is more quiet. I'm having a little bit of I'm having this kind of perfectionism energy that's just not quite right yet. So I feel like that is maybe something with this reading. I'm not exactly sure where we're going to go with that. We had Two of Swords out, and it just kind of came out, so I don't exactly have a question from Zalia, I don't think. It's a reading for Mitz for Valentine's Day. Okay, so we're going to read for Mitz for Valentine's Day. Mitz is... I'm just going to read the energy and let you know what I feel. Mitz is being stubborn. So his question is, what did Colin have for dinner? Okay, so caller number 1 is going to be Mitz. What did Colin have for dinner? Now, I did smell Colin's breath earlier. It smelled like cat food. So Colin had, hang on a second here. This reading is taking a turn. Where are we going with this? Why are we asking this question? So if anybody's just watching the YouTube version of this reading, you're probably wondering why it is that I'm saying all these random words. It's because there's a chat going in the Discord, so... It's the same thing every day. Colin's complaining about that he has to eat the same thing every day. He's starting to get sick of the chicken dinner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Winner, gagnant. Lotto. Not sure if you played Lotto. I got that message a few days ago as well. Was it on Tuesday maybe? There was a message about really good luck coming for Lotto numbers. Like somebody who plays the lottery regularly is going to be getting a really happy surprise this time around. If you don't play the lottery regularly, then I don't think that is going to happen for you. I feel like it's for somebody who plays the lottery every week, who is already doing it, you know. Two and 3. Upping the ante. We'll see what we get for this. So basically the way this is going to work for anybody who's watching on YouTube is that Zhao's going to do basically, Zhao's going to be here to kind of interact with the message, and we're going to guide the message a little bit. So I'm going to be reading. So Mr. Zhao bought one yesterday. Okay, so wait. Mitz is stubborn. Mitz jumped on the desk. You played the lottery. And Mr. Zhao bought one yesterday. Okay, so I feel like whoever plays the lottery just naturally is going to be having some good luck this time around. That's kind of a message that's happening. And of course, if you stumble into this reading later, after it's been recorded, I feel like that's the case for you as well. The same thing every day. Regular. Now, Colin eats the same thing every day, right? Colin is not actually very fond of trying new things. Dirk, on the other hand, he'll eat anything. But Colin has, and just for anybody on YouTube, Colin and Dirk are the cats that are here. We're a cohabiting trio. And actually, I can resonate with that as well, that I kind of keep my diet into certain things. Like I do have certain things that I like a lot, and I stick to those things for the most part. Mitz is Zhao's cat. Do you know what? It's so funny. As soon as I started streaming here, and I started reading this particular energy that's passing through, I'm feeling like very spaced out. It's a spacey energy all of a sudden. So I'll surrender to it. It's fine. It feels nice. Just kind of like not really worried about time. Three of Pentacles, though, is talking about three people who are kind of locked together in time. So three people, Colin, Mitz, not sure. Colin and Dirk. I guess Dirk comes along. Dirk's the third wheel, is really what it is. So I might be reading the energy of somebody who is frequently experiencing the third wheel. And I think Mitz, this is representing Mitz's eyes here. This actually kind of reminds me of that video that's on the clips there when we did the video art, and there was Mitz and Colin was, that looks a lot like it, doesn't it? Mr. Zal bought one yesterday because he got a fortune cookie that has his birthday as the first two numbers. That clip from the channel, when we did the video art, and Mitz is projected onto my wall, and then Colin walks in. This looks a lot like that. It is great. So I feel like what I'm reading is that Colin is loyal to Dirk. Dirk comes with Colin everywhere he goes. And I feel like Mitz would prefer it was just the two of them. I'm sorry, Dirk. Dirk's sleeping. He doesn't care. He's sleeping soundly, very soundly. I can't describe how cute he is right now. He's curled up and on this really comfortable pillow. I got them these pillows at the grocery store. They were selling these pillows on clearance. And it's like the best thing that ever happened for them. They're these square pillows that are meant for, I don't know what they're meant for. Sitting on the floor, I guess. The Fool, both energies in the Fool. If Mrs. question is, what does Colin eat for dinner? What did Colin have for dinner? He said he had the same thing that he has every night. Colin has this, he shares with Dirk a half of a container. So they each have a half of this container of, and the only thing that changes is sometimes it's chicken and sometimes it's fish. It's like the one that they have, there's two different ones. And so, but there's two, basically what it is. So use these numbers if you'd like. There's two, basically each unit has two packets. And every night, Colin and Dirk split a packet. They used to each get one, but they were each leaving about half. Actually, Dirk eats most of it. Colin doesn't like it that much. He shares it with Dirk, though. He'll have a few bites, and then he gives the rest to Dirk. Which is maybe something that would upset Mitz. Yeah, there it is. There's the, there it is right there. The clip. Perfect. That's the one we're talking about, Mitz's eyes. So, Mitz might be kind of stubborn about this fact, but Colin is reassuring that this is what happens. He said, if you want, we can have a third each, because actually what's happening is they're both leaving, or in both bowls, there's always a little bit left. There's always some left over. Colin actually prefers his kibble food, the hard pellets. He likes those. Dirk, on the other hand, goes bananas for the squishy stuff. he's sleeping with his head up right now, and his eyes are closed, and it's really funny. Dirk is kind of clueless, right? So he's not really trying to get involved, trying to intervene. Colin is very happy with the way things are. So that's his message for Mitz. So this is the energy that I'm reading about what is somebody like. You might be thinking about somebody. You might be thinking about what is somebody. You might have an inquiry on Valentine's Day about who... what's somebody up to? What are they like? I want to know more about them. Who is this person, And this person is somebody who is very, they like where they are. They like the way things are. They like things a certain way almost. At the same time, it's like kind of there's room for togetherness, to work together. There's room to be together in the case of Colin and Mitz. And maybe this person, for you, there's room to be together. It's just not to sacrifice. Like, this is basically a very integrated thing. It needs to be very integrated with what's already there. Everybody needs to be able to bring their fullest to the table. Oh, how to make Colin happy. So I'm going to read that out loud. Mitz thought about about asking how to make Colin happy, right? There is here the Fool card for both energies. So, of course, for anybody on the YouTube, we're talking about cats. Take this as a story to maybe represent your story. And we can all take this story in whatever way it works. This is a relationship. And Colin and Mitz are a budding couple. You know, they've kind of established themselves. They telepathically communicate. So we're kind of talking about Flamin twins. Colin and Mitz are Flamin twins. So we know that for sure. There have been too many signs. There has been telepathic communication. We have that clip to prove it, that Mitz knows where Colin is. Mitz blinked slowly at Colin, which is a sign of affection. Dirk is Colin, Colin is Mitz, or is it Colin, Dirk, and Mitz is Colin? It's one and the same. It's basically what Colin's looking for is Colin wants to be able to have what he has now. And if there's going to be and basically Colin's in control of Dirk. Colin tells Dirk what to do. Dirk might seem like he's not really there, you know. He's kind of like out there and he's not really paying much attention to anything. But he does whatever Colin wants, and happily too. And so Colin wants to be in control of the whole thing, I think. The same way, but not really, because Dirk does a lot of, you know, bugging Colin. It's more like there's not an alpha in this situation. There's no dominance. And that's what Colin really likes. He dominates on one aspect, and that's one rule is that everybody comes with equality. And so if Mitz has come from an environment, maybe because Mitz was spent a lot of time with Blossom, where there was like that alpha dog kind of situation, or like that fight for the alpha position. It could be that there is a past relationship that you would have had, Mitz, where you're kind of being forced to play that game. Who's more powerful? Who's more dominant? And what Colin is saying here, this is kind of like who you're going to be with next, is saying it's not into that. That's not who they are. And that's not just with romantic relationships. That's across the board. That's around the table. Blossom was turning into a cat and Mitz was turning into a dog, right? Yeah, so there's a little bit of that in this too. The idea that you wouldn't be able to tell them apart at a certain point. But I've got the Fool card here, so I'll explain this. This is kind of like both sides of this relationship need to basically take a leap of faith in order to engage in this kind of relationship. I feel like there's something about Mitz being stubborn, and Mitz is kind of representing the you in this reading. So if you're watching this on YouTube, when I say Mitz, I'm talking about you. It's kind of like that's the side of the story, or take whatever side of the story that works for you, of course. Wow. Okay. So 2 of Swords, and I'm clarifying the 2 of Swords for the midst position here as an Ace of Cups. Really, it's an Ace of Cups. I have to lean down and get cards off the floor. A bunch of cards fell, and I'm kind of wrapped like a burrito in a blanket here. I'm recording from upstairs in the church right now, so we've been in the basement for quite a while. We decided to come up here today. We were streaming, we were playing vinyl records. And the record player's up here. Rather than move everything downstairs, I thought, why don't we move upstairs? Change of scenery. That might be relevant. You might actually be, and that resonates with Mitz too, right? That Mitz has recently had a change of scenery. So Mitz might be trying to, somebody who's had a change of scenery would be trying to kind of get their bearings back together again. So might be a bit closed off because of that. I don't think that there's going to be, there's patience to be experienced here with somebody who's in 2 of Swords, Ace of Cups. So it's a 2 with qualified with a 1. The Fool is, of course, 0. 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. Starts with leap of faith. It's generated in the energy of receiving. It's actually benefiting from a little bit of stubbornness on your part. And it's absolutely requiring that there are no absolutes. Number 3, integration. Integrated. When we say, I'm going to clarify that. I got these 2 cards here. 3 cards. Look at that. 3 cards. So really this 2 is a show. I think what it is that the 2 is kind of a show to kind of cover the 1 from the 3. It's one thing to feel in the energy of receiving love, being open, having your heart open, and sometimes that can feel a bit too vulnerable, especially when there's been a recent change in scenery. So like you might have recently moved or something, and you could have this kind of, there's too much up in the air right now. I just need to kind of hold things separate. Like this is a relationship. I need to hold it apart from a leap of faith right now. And so sometimes that can involve not taking a leap of faith in favor of just participating. And sometimes that can mean not participating in favor of taking a leap of faith. So there can be like some times where maybe Mitz and Colin are kind of, not really talking to one another. And actually, I think Colin would experience that as Mitz pulling away. Really. But let me see more about this three of Pentacles. And we're going to clarify what Colin's experience is. I'm getting Mitz as being basically just kind of vulnerable right now and not really ready. Three of Swords. With a 10 of Swords in reverse. And Ace of Pentacles. Mitz is finding the chicken can, not pulling away. Not pulling away. Okay, hang on a minute. I think Mitz went out into the living room. 4 of Cups vibe. Got you, yep. Like Colin who, yeah. Maybe he's finding the chicken can. Mitz is finding the chicken can, not pulling away. Okay, I get that now. I read that backwards. I read that backwards. Read it backwards, okay. First, it came out, this 3 and the 10 and then the ace, the 1. We were talking about that. We did a bunch of readings before we started recording. It was all about what energy we're in when we're kind of looking for the 1, or we're wondering when the 1 is coming. So this is a message for Mitz. The one is on its way. I feel like the first thing to kind of establish is that this is going to happen. And this is for anybody who's watching this reading right now. The one is coming. Anybody who's watching on Discord's already had that message a bunch of times. It's getting kind of like hammered in there. The one is on its way. On their way. I'll put it, I'll like humanize the situation, or at least kind of make it so that it's a being. It's not an object. Ace of Pentacles is an object, though. Oh, Zalin, you were talking earlier today about object, and I said, oh, you mean object as in primary object. Like it's a concept in psychology. It's kind of Freudian, right? I just got really, really nervous all of a sudden, and I got lightheaded. Did something just happen to somebody in the room right now? Who's all here? Okay, I see. Oh, let me know if did something. I just I feel like that feeling right before you're gonna faint. Somebody just do something where they tangible object. Sounds are tangible too. Got you. Yeah, I'm feeling really lightheaded all of a sudden. Okay, there's an object. Really lightheaded and shaky, but I don't think I'm shaking. I'm not actually shaking. I'm feeling that energy of somebody might be feeling shaky. This is like Mitz's food, okay? So we were asking the question about what did Colin have for dinner, right? And we're seeing this energy through the story of what did Colin have for dinner. Mitz wants to know about who Colin is. And if Mitz is going to offer up what Mitz has for dinner, is Mitz not feeling well right now? Low blood sugar. Okay, I couldn't figure out how to differentiate low blood sugar. Okay. Is that you, Sal? Are you having some low blood sugar right now? It might be me, yeah, but I'm not feeling actually faint and shaky. It sounded like a diabetic reaction. Yeah, true. Could be. If that's the case, and I'm hungry and I just don't know it yet, I'm going to take that as a message, because when I look at this ace, I get all of a sudden feeling this way. And I was feeling spacey earlier, so you might be right, Sal, about just being like a natural physical thing for me. But if I take it as a message, the Ace of Pentacles is basically like Mitz offering up what Mitz has to eat. And I wonder if Mitz isn't feeling well right now or something. Like maybe somebody's not feeling well. That could be you. You might be feeling like a little bit kind of not really into eating food. Like Mitz, if I ask Mitz, what do you have for dinner, Mitz? And Mitz is going to be like, oh, I don't know, just something, just whatever, whatever I can manage to eat. I wonder if the stress of big changes has turned Mitz kind of off of food a little bit. Is that something? Sometimes when big changes happen, we kind of withdraw. He's been eating more. Oh, okay. That's another direction. He's yeah. Ten of Swords. So I'm going from here, start at the end and go backwards. You know what? I feel like Mitz is still getting over Blossom. This is basically what I feel like we're reading about, because Mitz isn't ready yet for a relationship. He left Indiana not eating any of his food. See, we're getting in this place where Mitz like wasn't really eating much. I feel like the relationship between Mitz and Blossom was not very good for Mitz. Like, it forced Mitz to kind of like act like a dog. And dogs and cats, you know, they're very different personalities. That's so funny. This morning, one of the first things I saw when I looked at videos and things that people were sending and that people were sharing, it's kind of like a big thing in my life right now, is like, I just get this, I wake up in the morning and there's like my inboxes of all the different messaging services and everything are all full of like hilarious videos and like cute videos or like interesting things or interesting, you know, people know that I'm interested in certain things and they send me what they're interested in that they think is similar, or what do I think, you know, we talk about stuff. And the thing that I got this morning was about this brand new kitten. And there was these dogs, there's 3 dogs who were welcoming their new kitten into the home. The cat, and there were 2 cats, and there was a cat couple. Actually, it looked a lot like Colin and Mitz. It looked like an orange cat and a, like Mitz, kind of Dirk-like as well. I'm going to read the... Yes, he went outside, ate grass, and threw it up. Right. And now he wants to grab the chicken can off the shelf and cook for Colin. Right. Totally. So there was something about how that relationship with Blossom wasn't necessarily like too good for Mitz. Kind of had Mitz like just not feeling right about something and kind of... You know what, like, here's what it is. I feel like Mitz is being distant right now with Colin. Colin, I'm not going to put Colin in... Colin's rough to get along with too. Colin's very particular about how he wants things to be. And that's a lot to ask of somebody who's been through a lot of changes recently. You know, like, to then tell somebody, like, somebody just moved, they ended a relationship, and now all of a sudden they have to like be a particular way. Like, they're just trying to grab their bearings again, you know, and they're already trying to pull, like, they're trying to manage how vulnerable they are. So I feel like this is going to be something where it's like Mitz is saying, Colin will say something like, why are you pulling away? You know, why aren't you answering me? Why aren't you, you know, what's going on? And Mitz would say something inside, though, not sharing it. Mitz would inside feel like, I've hurt Colin's feelings, and it hurts Mitz like 3 times more. Like, it hurts Mitz even more to know that he's not ready yet. And at the same time, it's like hurting somebody who's like seriously like offering, do you want to be a part of my gang? Do you want to be a part of my club? Do you want to be part of my cat food network? There, let me coin that, the cat food network. Yeah, I'm really feeling strange all of a sudden. This is interesting. So let me take this energy away from Mitz and Colin for a minute and just talk about this story that I'm getting about a relationship, or a new relationship, the one, with the one. That if this is almost like a scenario of what would happen if you met up with the one too early, when they're not ready yet. It's basically like it would hurt when they withdraw from you, and... Or you could be on the other side of things and you're not ready yet. It would hurt you even more than it hurts them whenever you have to withdraw because you're not ready yet. And so for them, if they're not ready yet, it hurts them to sense, because if it's the one, right? They know. Moon. As I say, they know. At the same time, they don't know. They don't know exactly. So I'm being corrected here. They don't know exactly what it is. They just know that it hurts. That's what they know. They don't know why it hurts. They just know that it hurts. Four of Cups. And what you get here is somebody who pulls away. Four of Cups. You called it, Zal. So this is bringing it back to Colin and Mitz. It's like basically Mitz is going to be standoffish, isn't going to be fully vulnerable, isn't going to really be clear. And that's going to hurt Colin, but you know what? It's going to hurt Mitz even more to know that Mitz hurt Colin. And then Colin's going to just basically withdraw, like just no. It's kind of like spelling out this kind of impasse. I wouldn't be surprised if we got the Hangman or something. See, it's like it ends with the thing that it's supposed to end with. This is the one. And it starts with the thing it's supposed to start with. I'm taking a leap of faith. But when it's the wrong timing, timing is everything. We got that message when we were talking about vibrations. Timing is everything. It's not just a matter of putting yourself in the right time, the right vibration. It's the matter of putting yourself in that vibration at the right time. And if we're talking about vibrations, time is crucial because vibrations are measured as amplitude and time, over time. And frequency, which is time. So just simply saying put yourself in a higher vibration isn't necessarily wise advice. What we have to do is sense alignment, and that is more important than putting yourself in a higher or lower vibration. It's about being aligned to that sense of understanding so that you're ready to go when the time is right. It's to keep yourself in that energy of being versatile and being ready. Ready doesn't mean I'm stuck on this thing and I don't want to move. Ready means flexible with time. So if this is for anybody who's watching this and you might resonate with one side or the other of this story, the answer for both of these two people is it's not time yet. Page of Swords. Ace of Swords. I'm just kind of bridging the energies a bit to see what happens. It's interesting. There's an Ace of Cups, Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. Mitz is getting all these aces. Mitz is getting all the signs. Maybe it's repeating numbers. Maybe it's insights, sudden insights of things, seeing things suddenly. I wonder if Colin's been observing that a little bit. I'm not saying that Mitz and Colin aren't together, they talk to each other. I'm just going to take a sip of water because all of a sudden I'm feeling thirsty. Just gave Mitz a chicken can. He was happy about that. There we go. I think Mitz and Colin have been talking, and I feel like Mitz has been maybe saying something like, I'm seeing all these signs, I'm seeing all these synchronicities, things like that, or I'm kind of like maybe even talking a little bit more directly about, relationship and what it looks like. So I feel like Colin's in the know a little bit about what's going on for Mitz, and Colin's in the know enough to know that Mitz isn't ready yet. That's not to say Colin's more wise. I mean, Mitz is older than Colin. Just gonna say that, you know, like in the cat world, Mitz is like a cougar in this situation, right? Yeah, I feel like Mitz is sharing. So if you're resonating with this, and you're resonating with this next part, there's another message for you. Then the part where you're kind of like sharing, like there's been talk about there being a relationship. There's been talk about what this is, that there's something going on here. There's definitely acknowledging that, you know, there's just a bit of a mess in between. It's very chaotic. So one thing that we know about chaos, and when it's two things that are meant for each other, or two things that are definitely compatible with one another, two things that, and don't take that as always a positive message. Compatibility, whew. Sometimes compatibility is that, like we had the whole stream last night and we were talking a lot about the queen archetype and the spectrum of like narcissism and codependency, and then basically like extreme forms of narcissism and extreme forms of codependent are like perfect for one another in a way. That's a very compatible, you know, it's opposites attracting, and it's very compatible in a way. But it's meant to, just destined to kind of like go for a ride and then not work out. When there's compatibility and two things are coming together, so not to say it's necessarily a good compatibility, the one that you would want, this is actually the way that it happens. Like, if you think about, I don't know, picture an atom and picture the electrons kind of spinning around. They kind of have to just spin around until they get to where they're going, you know? This is a lot of spinning. It's just kind of moving around. Chaos, entropy is what designs a connection. And, you know, you can look at it one way as a chaos, it's just a mess, or you can look at it like it's actually, it looks like a mess to me because I don't have all the ins and outs of all of the different plans that are going on all at once. Some people see this mess and they can actually appreciate that it's an orchestration. It's like an opus. He's 3. What's the cat age rule? Half your age plus 0.5. I think so. I think that's the cat rule. Yeah, Mitz, you gotta wait. It's not time yet. Page of Pentacles. So 9 of Swords. So the message for you, if you're resonating with that, of there being like this just sense of like just utter chaos between you and another person, but you know that the it's like the bookends are correct. The books, they line up. You know, you've done the calculations and everything seems like it should be right, but it's actually, you know, maybe there's a bit of a why is it so difficult or something in the middle. That's not a matter of what's happening. That's a matter of your perspective. That's the message, 9 of Swords. It's what you're thinking about. Or it's what Colin's thinking about. Colin's getting kind of upset right now, is what's happening. Colin's getting upset that Mitz is being standoffish. And he's starting to worry that it's because of him. And that hurts Mitz, but Mitz isn't a place to communicate that right now. So we're getting kind of like what's being spelled out is that if the two of them keep, you know, trying, or if we keep pushing them to try when they're not ready yet, we're just kind of like pushing them further into their own perspectives that aren't working for them, that aren't bringing them. Basically, where are all the cups, you know? This is supposed to be cups, and I'm getting swords all over the place. A lot of thoughts about feeling that initial Ace of Cups, and Colin feeling the 3 of Pentacles, which for some people, you know, this is nothing. This doesn't mean that it's, you know, just about work. This means like integration. Feeling integrated is a wonderful feeling, and we can get that kind of sense that somebody's the right one based on how we integrate with their energy. So for your reading, really, what it is, Mitz, it's actually, I don't think Mitz needs to do anything differently. It looks to me like Colin needs to do something differently. Colin's got a lot of thoughts about this and trying to find a lot of meaning in all of these things, and that's not what Colin's here for. Colin's here to enjoy this relationship. Let the universe take care of all that orchestrating. That's their job. If Mitz isn't ready, Mitz isn't ready. And I'm going to grab one more little spread about what happens if Colin learns to chill out a little bit. Like Dirk's trying to show Colin how to chill out is basically it. That's what Dirk's here for. Colin knows that Dirk's around for a reason too. I love this. We do this, right? We anthropomorphize the animals. Kind of helps us to make sense of some human behaviors sometimes. Why is that? Because when we're looking at a cute animal, we don't put all of those judgments on them, and we get more truth out of the situation. Speaking of judgment card. And the Eight of Swords. So, Mitz isn't, so when it I'm getting a little message about how Mitz communicates with Colin in like the telepathic way, that Mitz would like, be able to see Colin, but Colin can't see Mitz. That's kind of a message that I'm getting, that Mitz is doing something right now is not seeing Colin. And so Mitz isn't seeing Colin, Colin isn't seeing Mitz. And it could be that if the two of them are having like an orbit, right? They're both electrons orbiting, and they're gonna run into each other at a certain point in time. Then it could be that, Mitz is on the other side of the moon right now, on the dark side of the moon. And it could be that Colin is right here, wondering, where's Mitz? Dark side of the sun, Sal says. Ah, yes. Kind of seeing the sun as like the Pixar lamp. I mean, it does shine so bright that we don't exactly see it. It's just you and Dirk right now, Colin. And Colin's like, this guy. Colin's got to learn how to chill out. It's time for Colin to kind of hang out with Dirk and learn how to chill out. Dirk was born into this world master of the art of chill. And Colin's very lucky to have such a brother. And he's getting into it. Colin, sometimes he kind of gets into at least he watches Dirk get into trouble from a distance. Like he'll lay there at the one corner of the room while Dirk's doing something over here, and he's just watching him. He's watching, he's learning. And for Mitz, King of Swords. Mitz is gaining some wisdom. There's some deep wisdom going on here. It's soul seeking, but it's the education kind. I feel like it seems structured, whatever Mitz is doing. Takes up a lot of time. Takes up a lot of thought space. I see the map of the sky again here, and I wonder if Mitz is learning about astrology. Ooh, a lot of cards want to come out. Like, I'm asking about this. I'm like, okay, Mitz, fine, but where's the cups? What's going on here? How come no cups? And same for Colin, except for Colin's in a learning position right now too, but Colin learns by doing. And Mitz learns by reflecting, thinking, reflecting like the moon. We might be getting a little bit of a, polar energy here, where Mitz is kind of embodying feminine energy. Colin maybe a little bit more masculine energy. Or say active, passive. That makes sense. Mitz is being a bit passive, withdrawn. Mitz went through a lot in the past year. 7 of Cups. That's what comes out for Mitz. I ask about the feeling. I pry and I pry and I pry, like Colin might do. How are you feeling? What's going on? How come you don't talk about your feelings? Why aren't you telling me what's going on? And finally Mitz says, frustrated, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Get off my back. And then Colin gets hurt. And then Mitz is like, oh, I didn't want to be mean. I didn't want to be mean. Oh, crap. That's kind of Mitz right now. How about Colin? Where's your heart, bud? Thoughts? Well, what are you thinking about? Eyes closed. Thinking about, he's sleeping right now. Look at this. Hold on a minute. Oh my gosh, I'm realizing what it is. You ready? This is this 2 of Pentacles and this eyes closed and the thoughts, and just for all the things we've been talking about. I see that Colin is trying to do this circumspection thing. He's trying to imagine himself in Mitz's shoes in a way. In Mitz's shoes. In Mitz's paws. What would it be like? Really. And all Colin can do to induce that, Colin doesn't have that experience of having everything kind of, what's the experience for Mitz? Like, Mitz moved twice, right? Across the country. 2 brand new homes. And Colin's not had that experience. Colin's had a very kind of, everything's been pretty much the same. Colin hasn't really strayed away from the church. It's pretty much he's been here the whole time. He did have those 2 little, vacations. Other than that, he's just not had that experience. So all he can do is really think about it. He can't really empathize with his own experience of going through that thing. Like, he can't imagine based on how he felt when he went through that. What he's got to do is just kind of keep it in mind is really it. And so his heart is currently going to a thought space about this whole thing. 4 of Pentacles. Because Mitz isn't really in a position to share what that experience feels like. They haven't developed that connection yet to share what that experience feels like. It's not time yet. Okay, positive. Where do they go from here? Last message, and then I'll end the reading. Oh, and I said I was going to get one of these cards for you, like For myths, sorry. High Priestess. That's usually my card to confirm whatever it is that I just said as well. And it's a card also to confirm that it's time to end the reading, that the energies have spoken. That's basically you've received a message. For Colin, I think there's another message in here. What's the way to move forward is for Colin to really develop his own skills. This is what's important. He has trouble sometimes connecting with Mitz, and Mitz is probably like no problem with that. Mitz is like on a good day, Mitz sees Colin and Colin doesn't see Mitz. So Colin's got to work on his skills. I mean, he's younger, right? So he's got to work on those skills. And he's doing it. I see him doing it right here. He's closing his eyes. He's imagining being Mitz. Or the best he can, anyway. That's about it. So if you're resonating with this reading and you are wondering about the one, imagine what it would be like to be the one. I'll play the video, and I should play it right now, but it's going to play over the, let's see, what is it? Wind on the speakers. Aww. Snow. Is that a hotel room? Is Mitz in a hotel? Is Mitz living out of a suitcase in a hotel? Last Valentine's Day. Oh, what's the room number there? Is that 117? 137? 137. Well, it's currently 1:45 a.m. And so do the math. I probably said something super important at 1:37. So we can look at that later. That's about it for the reading. So hopefully that message is helpful for Mitz and Colin, and for anybody who resonates with the budding romance that is between Mitz and Colin right now. Valentine's Day is here. And as much as we want for this thing to be off the ground by the time the holiday hits, I feel like there's going to be, I think they're both going to honor their, commitment to, see one another. Then again, maybe Colin will pull something out. Maybe he's being reserved and he's not, maybe he's been trying to tell me something, like he sees something. All day he's been trying to warn me about something. He's been like, there's something going on. Something's happening. It might be that something's happening for Colin right now. He might be starting to see something. And he doesn't know how to describe it. Okay, that's it for your reading. Thanks so much for watching. And for anybody on YouTube who watched this reading, definitely, if you enjoyed this reading, you want to see more, check out more on the channel. Also, we stream on Twitch. There's a Twitch channel called Tarot Lady in a Church. Come hang out with us. And we have a Discord as well. And we also have, what else do we have? That's pretty much it. And Instagram, but I mean, I don't know. I don't really do Instagram. I'm still trying to figure it out. Okay, that's it. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye.